suddenly our body is not us. Some people might think that it is our mind. Very complicated, because it is a huge debate. There are some Buddhist schools which says that, yeah, your mind is you. You are your mind. But then again, when it comes to some final conclusion that Buddha gave, teachings, ultimate teachings, Buddha said, even your mind is not you. You are just merely imputed by conceptual thought. So nothing is there as we see. It is all merely imputed. If you think that there is difficult, there is difficult. If you think that things are easy, easy. If you think that is a happy life, it's a happy life. If you think that is not happy life, it's not happy life. So things doesn't exist out there. It's just your mind that creates, that sort of project everything, that sort of impute everything. Like in India, you might see, in some places of India, I would say, there are some beggars, especially around some Buddhist places, because Buddhists practice generosity. So they are there, so they get things from practitioners who visit there. So this beggar, the same word beggar, if you tell this word to those people, they might feel like, it's very, very light for them, they might feel like, hello. If you say like, hey, beggar, they might feel like, hey, hello. That's exactly how they feel or they see. But if you say a beggar to your friend, yeah, you might have to, like, I don't know, you might have a really tough time with your friend. Your friend may be angry, or at least uncomfortable feeling, or maybe doubt, or maybe, wonder what's going on. So the same word beggar, if you say it to someone who is very, very rich, then the situation might appear as if you're crazy. So the word is same, beggar, but to different people it appears differently. For some people, it's just normal, like hello. For some people, it's like huge thing. For some people, they might get very hurt. Some people take it as a joke, So it is not the phenomena. It is not the thing. It is our mind that create the subject or the object may be the same thing, but it is the mind, that makes everything. The beggar is nice for some people. For some people, it is not a nice. The word beggar is nice to hear, not nice to hear, neutral to hear, something to be laughed at when people see it as a sort of a joke or something like that. So the same thing is very, very different and different and different for different people. It is all mind. If you think this is nice, it's nice. If you think the word beggar is nice to hear, it's nice to hear. If you think that it's really terrible, it's terrible. If you think that it's kind of normal, kind of normal. So it is exactly the same with each and every situation in life. But we don't get to see. We don't get to see as the thing exists. We always project as if things exist by its own. Some people might say, oh, when you say beggar, some people might say, oh, I'm so sad. If you ask them, why are you sad? They might say, because he said beggar to me. If you give an example, like, there are some people who don't get sick by just saying beggar. So by just saying beggar doesn't mean that you have to be suffering, you have to be worrying. Otherwise, everybody should be worrying, but then they don't get worried. So it is not the thing, but it is the mind that creates the thing. I'll give you some short examples as of stories. These are real stories, but then maybe you can analyze. This is fun. I love these stories. Before 1990, there is a place called Tao. I think that this incident happened around Tao in Tibet around 1990. There were some people walking around the house. There were some people over there, and then maybe the one male person had a small nap, a rest, a small sleep, a short sleep, while they were walking. In between, they were walking. So during the sleep, the other people were just resting around the house, but one person went inside to sleep. So suddenly, the person came out, and everybody thought as if he just walking around. But then the person who lived with that person, another person who lived with that person who just came out of the house, knew that, oh, he's walking in a sleep. You see, there are some people who literally walk in a sleep. They don't know what they're doing, but they're just walking in a sleep. I don't know what it is called in English, but yes, walking in a sleep. So then the person said to others to just keep quiet because he's walking in a sleep. So that there is this electric pole, the electric pole, and the person went towards the electric pole. The electric pole is like this, and then when person reach here, the person start to walk like this to the electric pole upwards. It's more like you literally walk on the wall upwards the building. The person literally walk upwards the electric pole. Everybody was shocked, but the person who live with the person, the another person who live with the person, told others to please keep quiet, because if you make a noise, the person may awake from the sleep. If the person awake from the sleep, then he might fall down. But if you don't wake him up, then as he walk upwards, he also walk downwards. I don't know, if you have any friend who walk in a sleep, maybe you can do a little experiment. But that is something that really happened in real. It's not like the person has some supernatural power or something. He was just an ordinary person who walk in the sleep. There seems to be a lot of people in Tibet because they know about these things, so they notice quite a bit when people do like that. And then regarding the people who walk in a sleep, in nomadic area, especially in some part of Tibet, there are many nomads who literally live in a mountain on the tent when they take care of some animals on the tent. So maybe if you check the nomadic dogs, they are known because they are very big, they are thick fur, they're very strong. Fogs and these some wild animals can do nothing to these dogs, because these dogs are really huge, powerful. It's like really literally a different version of lion. You know, they have like really thick fur and very strong. You can check Tibetan Nomad Dogs. They are really fun. So if there are many cases that these dogs even kill people, they're really dangerous. But then one thing that is really fun and interesting, that when a person walk in a sleep, if a person walking in a sleep reach out to such a dog, the dogs never bark at them. The daytime, the dogs will literally kill them if it is not just a serious bite, you know. The dogs can be really dangerous, you know. And then obviously the dog is gonna bite them, scare them away and everything. But if a person go there in a sleep, the dog don't even bark. So which is why many people think that the dogs don't see. When a person walk in a sleep, they don't see. That's how some people say that. But suddenly the dogs don't bite or bark. So here with this point, I really like these points, which is something that which is not a miracle, is a fact. And also this is something that happens, people get to see. At the same time, there are things to learn from this kind of situation. Some people think, according to Buddhism, I would say that if a person walk in a sleep, if a person think that he is walking on a plain surface, then at that time, if a person get to walk on the water, river, I strongly believe and I feel that if a person 100% strongly think in his dream or in his sleep that he is walking on some plain flat area, but in fact if he's on the water, I strongly believe and think that he will not fall in the water. It's very much likely that he can literally walk on the water. The reason that I'm saying is that the reason why we drip in the water is not because it is water. It's because we think we're going to drip in there. Because there are many stories, practitioners who literally train their mind to see things in certain ways. Then they actually see. So based on that, they can walk or perform. So now, yes, of course, the birds flies. There is no such wonder about flying. But flying without spreading any wings, flying without having any wings is fun, is something to be think. You know, flying is not a big deal, but flying without a wing is a big deal. So Buddhist monk who literally fly in a meditation position, the reason they fly is because they train their mind in such a way. One can literally one can literally walk in the air. If you really meditate, if you really train your mind, meditate and see as the whole world is a stairs, then you can literally walk in the air as if you're walking on the stairs. If you If you seriously believe and see, think, that happens. And at the same time, some Buddhist masters, they trained exchanging the one suffering and difficult time with others suffering and difficult time with one's happiness and nice time. They train the exchange. They train their mind in this way for so many times. So after a while, the training result in sort of reality. There are some stories that in Tibet, some people hit the people. So the master, some Tibetan Buddhist masters, they stay far away, but they see that some people are hitting that person. So the master practice exchanging one's happiness with others' suffering. Now, when the master meditate that, the mark which the lashes, let's say a stick, the mark, the stick, the person is hitting a stick on another person, but the master thinks that may I have the pain of that person. So he literally places himself on other person's shoes and other person on his shoes. So then some of the Tibetan masters even had that used to have those scars. The stick has been bitten or hit on other person, but the mark appear on the master's body. Of course, this is something that is possible when you practice. When your practice's level is quite high, if you train your mind in such a way,